Hey, what is up guys? Today is the second day of Gwent's Black Sun reveal campaign. Let's go take a look at the mighty Skellige faction as well as the content creators who revealed some cards for us. Before we get started with the cards, we should look at the next keyword that's being introduced into Gwent. This one is called Clash. Now, units will simultaneously damage each other by their power. So this will be like Arnagad's ability, where basically it damages a unit the same time as that unit damages it. It's immediate and simultaneous. Whereas we have cards like Prince Anzi's, where essentially you duel an enemy unit, which means that units will take turns dealing damage equal to their power until one of them is destroyed. So there's a clear difference here. It's more like Arnagad, where they both damage each other simultaneously. And that takes us to the first content creator of the day, which is Kafunau. Kafunau made an extremely funny video revealing this card. You should all check it out if you haven't yet. His link is available on his Twitter page. Now, this is a seagull. It is a Skellige beast. It is a pirate. And it is also cursed, which seems to be the overarching theme of this expansion. So on deploy, this card will damage 3 units by 1 and will then spawn a seagull in your graveyard for each target that is damaged. That normally means in the red. So when an enemy unit is destroyed, this card will summon itself from your graveyard to your range row and gain doomed. So that's pretty interesting. That means the cards that have been spawned into the graveyard will be summoned to the range row, and this card in the next round will be getting another spawn, if you will. That's super interesting, and I can think of loads of combos that will be able to utilize this. But off to our next card. The next streamer and YouTuber we have is Normal Alive Gaming. He is a great content creator. He's part of Team Aretuza, and you should go check him out as well. So here we have the Deranged Corsair. It is a human, it is a pirate, and it is also cursed. On deploy, this will infuse an enemy unit with Death Wish, spawn Cataclysm on this row for 2 turns. Then it will also spawn Cataclysm on that row for 1 turn. So that has the potential to have 3 turns of Cataclysm. So what is Cataclysm, right? So the first card that jumps to mind might be Ragnarok, that spawns Cataclysm on an enemy row for 4 turns. Well, what Cataclysm is, as you can see, at the start of the owner's turn, split 3 damage randomly between units in the row. So Deranged Corsair is not only a 4-point card that will spawn Cataclysm automatically for 3 points of potential damage, which puts it on 7. It will also give a card Death Wish, meaning if you kill that card will spawn Cataclysm on that row for 2 more turns, which is 10 and 13. That's 13 for 5 provisions, potentially, and that is not bad at all. So, off to our next content creator of the day. It is the Salty Captain. The Salty Captain got to reveal his own card today, and you are more than welcome to check him out on Twitch and YouTube. This card is called Bjorn Stormmerson. Now, Bjorn is a human, a pirate, and cursed. It is also a veteran, meaning every round it's going to grow by 1 point. This also goes very well with our card King Bran, which at the start of the game triggers the veteran ability of all units. That means that if you include King Bran into your deck, Bjorn will start off with a nice even 6 points. After that, it will be 7 points, 8 points, etc. So Bjorn will be growing as the rounds pass. On deploy, it will clash with an enemy unit. There we get to see that keyword for the first time. So instead of dueling a card, meaning Bjorn first does, let's say, 6 points of damage, and then he gets damaged back, it will happen instantaneously. So let's say Bjorn is 6 points, round 1, and Bjorn wants to kill a 3-point card. So if you play Bjorn onto the board, he will immediately kill the 3-point card, but that 3-point card will damage him by 3 points as well, simultaneously, meaning Bjorn will go from 6 points and 2 armor to 5 points and 0 armor. Now, here's where the fun part comes in. You have an order ability that is activated if you have Bloodthirst 2. Bloodthirst 2 means that there are at least 2 enemy units that are red, meaning damaged. This will allow you to discard a card, which is super nice for all discard packages. Goes very well with Carl, for instance. And then it will move Self back to your hand, meaning you can play it a second time. So Bjorn makes for a very interesting removal card. If you're able to make Bjorn 7-8 points, you're able to remove a lot of engines when you need to at a moment's notice. I'm a big fan of this card, and I think it can be something you have to look out for when playing against Skellige. Alright, last but not least, it is the Zubadoo. Zubadoo is on TLG. He is a great content creator, great deck builder, knows his trivia questions very well. You should go check him out on Twitch if you haven't yet, as well as on YouTube. Now, Zubadoo got to reveal the best card of the batch, and he got to do that with Rashid. Rashid is also a great content creator, also in TLG. You should go check him out on Twitch if you haven't yet, or else you're simply missing out. So, another scenario, you say? Another scenario in Skellige called Endless Voyage. This is also cursed, it is doomed, 14 provisions. So, this scenario will progress every time you play a pirate. When you play this card, it will spawn Bjorn's Drakkar on this row. I love Drakkar. It sounds a lot like Game of Thrones. Now, what does that look like, you might ask? Well, Bjorn's Drakkar is a 5-point token. It is a machine, it is a ship, it is cursed, it is also doomed. Now, this has an order ability which says damage an enemy unit by 1, and infuse it with, whenever this unit takes damage from other abilities, damage Self by the same amount. Sounds a bit complicated, but what I can get from this is that if you damage the card by an ability that does 3 points of damage, it will damage itself also by another 3 points of damage. So that's quite interesting. I'd like to see this in effect though, because it is not so clear to me what it means off the bat, but I will let you go check out Zub and Rashid's explanation on Zubadoo's channel if you want more information on that one specifically. And then chapter number 1, another passive ability we see in a scenario which isn't something we're very familiar with. Whenever your opponent plays a unit, infuse it with Death Wish, spawn Cataclysm for 1 turn on this row. That is pretty awesome. So every single unit your opponent's going to be playing will have Death Wish. So if you kill that card, you also get 3 points of potential damage with Cataclysm. So imagine pairing that up with something like Dagur, Greatsword. You see what I'm saying? There's a lot of potential damage to be done with the new cards that just came out in the Skellige faction. And I think we're going to see some very interesting decks as a result. Lastly, we have Chapter 2. Purify and heal an allied Bjorn's Drakkar. Increase its base power by 5 and give it 1 charge. So currently Bjorn's Drakkar already has 1 charge and 1 order ability, but if you get another charge, that means you can again infuse an enemy unit with, whenever this unit takes damage from other abilities, damage Self by the same amount. So that's quite cool, because obviously you also get to purify the card and you get to heal it as well. So not bad at all. Now if you don't control Bjorn's Drakkar, spawn it on this row instead. So that is also pretty awesome, because it simply means that if this card is killed in the process, it will just be on the board again with order ability, and you can do what it does anyway without having to purify or heal the card. Alright guys, that has been the 4 Skellige cards for this expansion. I will be back tomorrow with a quick summary and explanation of all the reveals that happened earlier in the day. I hope you guys have some good feedback for me in the comments, and I will see you tomorrow.